welcome to my channel, Fred Makes Things. Today is my Sewers Club project review video for May 2022. 2 weeks ago was my unboxing video, and so now here we are, the review video. If you don't know what Sewers Club is, Sewers Club is a monthly subscription box where for a certain amount of money, I want to say $35, $40, you get everything you need to make one sewing project. They often come with bonus items, which is always the thread and sometimes something else. And then for an additional $10, I want to say, roughly, you get a Notion add-on as well. I always get the add-ons because A, I review these boxes for this channel, and B, I am fairly new to sewing, and I don't have a lot of sewing notions, so it's always nice to see what we get. Quick housekeeping before we get into this box. Over the weekend I hit 100 subscribers, and on Monday I published a 100 subscriber giveaway slash paper cutting time-lapse video, and today I just wanted to remind you that there is a 100 subscriber giveaway. It's just a $25 gift card to an online vendor of your choosing, but it's just like a small token of appreciation from me to you. I want to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed to this channel in the last 2 years. I appreciate every single one of you. And to the people who may watch my videos but don't subscribe, maybe think about subscribing. Yeah, I do a few different types of videos, styles of videos on this channel, so feel free to take a look and decide. And if you've come back for a couple of videos, means you might like something I'm doing. And a subscription would just like pop you into your subscriptions folder so you don't have to go looking for me. With that being said, I just want to say that the contest rules are published in my 100 subscriber giveaway video. Yeah, I'm going to leave the contest open for 2 weeks. So hopefully on my Sewers Club unboxing video, I will let you know who won the giveaway, or do something like that. Let the person know who won the giveaway. However it works out, the contest will be closed in 2 weeks for my Sewers Club unboxing video. All right, so now we will get into this box. This video is going to be in 4 parts like usual. Part 1 is what came inside of the box. Part 2 is putting the project together. Part 3 is pros, cons, and user error. And then part 4 is going to be final thoughts and sign off. So as always, this is part 1. What I do is I keep all of the items from this month's project in this box so that I know that I can just reference it without going in search of anything else. And then when I'm done with this, I keep the box and I use it for other things, and I put all this stuff away. So this month's box was this linen double pocket side bag. It was a cute little project. Had quite a few steps to it. These were the colorways that you could have gotten. I got, well, you'll see what I got, but I got the brown colorway. And my mother-in-law got the green one. I'll pop that up on the screen for you so you can see what hers looks like. And then on the back were the bonus items and the add-on Notion. I'll quickly talk about the bonus item, and I'll talk about the add-on Notion in a minute. So this one came with a unique home dye catcher, and what these are they're dryer sheets to help catch dyes and keeps all of your colors more vibrant. I've used these for a long time, so they're nothing new to me. Not this specific brand, but these dryer sheets in general. When I say dryer sheets, I mean washer sheets. I don't know why I said dryer. Basically, you take this, you throw 1 or 2 in your washer when you're washing clothes, and it collects the dye on the clothes instead of depositing it onto other clothes, keeping all of your stuff nice and fresh and clean looking. I use these especially when I have new clothes that are like very richly colored. It really helps keep them lasting longer. The also thread, I used the brown, and I still have the other color left behind. I think it's bronzite that I have. Actually, I don't remember. And then with the add-on notion, we'll talk about that when we get to it. So these were the instructions, right? We had 4 pages. They took a while. Here's the curved template. I didn't feel like tracing it out, so I went through all of my Sewers Club or my Cat Lady things, and I found a curve that was very similar, and I just used that instead. But we'll talk about that when we get to there too. Here's the Notion add-on, the rotary cutter, and then here's all the pieces that I have left over from my project. So I have a bit of the fusible fleece left. Oh, here's the die catcher. I didn't put it downstairs. I have scraps of my fabric left. And then I have 2 main pieces of my fabric. But I have all these little scraps. And then here are my 2 colors. This is the thread that I used to sew, and then this was my, like a bone colored extra thread, and then my die catcher. We'll keep that out. I put the wrong things away. So these were the 2 colors of fabric that I got. I have a strip, pretty long strip of this one brown I don't know, X pattern, we'll say. And I have a little square of this floral, brown floral. I really like this brown floral. So these are all, this is all the usable really of this fabric that I have left. But they didn't give you a lot to begin with. Usually they give you enough to complete your project, but usually not too much more than that. So let's get on to part B, assembling the project. I will leave these up here for background, and then we will quickly talk assembly. Hi all, Fred from the future here, interrupting this video to do a new voiceover for this section. As I was editing this at 12:42 in the morning, I realized that I was a babbling mess and that this video, the assembly part of this video doesn't make any sense. So instead of trying to fix what I recorded, I'm just going to do a new voiceover. And hope that this works out a little bit better. So I'm going to start right from the beginning so I don't have to worry about trying to cobble something together. So first step is I ironed out my fabric and then took a pretty picture. I always do this because I love the look of this fabric. From there, I cut out the pieces of the fabric and the fusible fleece. Now, what I really liked about this pattern and what Sewers Club has been doing a lot of recently is that they show you the layout of the pieces onto the fabric, so you have a better idea of like how to do the layout, right? How to cut things out. Sometimes I change it up a little bit so that I can get a little bit more scrap material, but it's really nice having a nice layout. The really cool thing about this pattern too is that it was really just a bunch of rectangles. It was 5 rectangles of a 1 size, and then a bunch of little pieces for like the zipper tabs and the D-rings and things like that. And then the cord, and then the strap for it was 2 long pieces, and then there was 2 smaller pieces from the other pattern as well, but they were all basically rectangles of varying sizes. So from there, they had you iron on your fusible fleece, almost onto just your exterior pieces, really. You had mostly onto the cross fabric or X fabric, and then also for your flap, which was made out of the floral fabric. The other really cool thing that Sewers Club has been doing lately is that they have had you cut your fleece or your interfacing slightly smaller than your fabric, and then they show you where directionally they want you to lay it out onto your fabric when you're fusing. And in the video, they explained that this was to reduce bulk when you're sewing, and I really like it. I really like this like little extra step, this like little attention to detail. So then after all of your fabric was fused, they basically had you start building the individual sections of your project, of your pattern. So they did it kind of in steps. Like step 1 was to build your exterior front, which was a zipper with 2 tabs, a smaller rectangle piece, and then a larger rectangle piece. And when you sewed them all together, it came out to the same dimensions as the large rectangles that you had cut out previously. So that was a really cool way of kind of assembling it. I've only done a flat zipper in one other project that I can think of, so it was really nice kind of having like a refresher. From here, they had you do the pocket, or not the pocket, the flap that covered the top half of your bag. To me, this flap is a bit more decorative than useful, but it does conceal the top of your zipper. With that, they had you use the Cat Lady, or they had you like use the curved template that they provided for you. But I just went through my Cat Lady circle stash, right, from all like the toys and stuff that I get for my cat, and I found a circle that matched pretty well to the curve, and I just used that instead. So they had you curve the pocket, or they had you curve the flap, make it all nice and neat, and then they had you baste in place that flap onto your front piece, and that was your entire front assembly finished. After that, to round out the pocket that the zipper was designed for, they had you take one of your large rectangular interior body pieces, the flowers, and lie them both right sides facing up or facing down, however you want to say it, but the right side's facing in the same direction so that when you zipped open the pocket, you could see the interior. And they had you baste that in place too, which meant that your entire front section of the bag was complete. And then they had you work on the back part of the bag. And the back section of the bag was really quite simple. They basically had you take your other fused piece of your other large rectangle that you had fused already, and using the D-ring tabs, we'll say, you attached the D-rings to them. I don't have a photo of this. I'm not sure why, but I don't. Yeah, and so then from there, I'm saying that a lot too. From there, they had you start working on the interior of your body. And that was just basically compiling all of the leftover large floral rectangles that you had left. All of this was kind of held together by your top zipper, which I did wrong at first. I'll talk more about it in user error But basically, I thought the zippers went together the same way, and they didn't. So I had to take apart to the top zipper and cut it down to make it fit the top opening of this little bag. So then they had you start, like I said, working on the interior of the bag. They had you put together the one side of the zipper with the exterior front and one of these large rectangular floral pieces as your interior lining. So that means that there's 3 layers of fabric on one side. And then, as always, they had you sandwich them together, right? So you would have like an interior pocket lining. When you opened the interior of the bag, you would see the flowers. Then they had you do the exact same thing on the other side. Take your remaining rectangular floral piece, right? Have that act as your interior lining, and then your exterior piece with the D-clamps, not clamps, rings, and have that on the other side of your bag. Then they had you, again, it's a fairly common Sewers Club method. They had you pull the bag kind of apart so that your lining pieces faced one direction, and your exterior pieces faced the other direction with your zipper in the middle, remembering to keep your zipper open. Spoiler alert, I did not, and I had to go back and open it. I had to rip open one of the sides of the bag and get into it. So yeah, user error in this video is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Anyway, so they had you use that same curve template that you used on your exterior flap, flap, and make the curves on the interior pocket section and the exterior body, so that all of your curves lined up. I also forgot to mention that they had you install a magnetic closure on your pocket. You saw the photo before, but I just remembered to mention it. So there was the installation of the magnetic snap, I'll call it. Okay, so yeah, all of your curves have been made, and then they had you sew around the exterior of the body, or sew around the entirety of the bag, right? Basically trying to complete the bag. And then they recommended, well, they told you to leave like a 3 to 4 inch opening on one side of your exterior body side. I think it was the exterior body side. I don't have the instructions in front of me, so I can't quite remember. But anyway, they wanted you to leave an opening so that you could turn the bag through and get everything facing the right direction. And that was when I realized I forgot to open the zipper. So yeah, had to get into the bag again, open that zipper, sew everything back the way it was supposed to be, and then pushed everything back through, and made the bag whole again. I'm not sure if I have a photo of that or not. Probably not, because I like to show you the finished bag on my own. From there, the bag was finished. All I had to do was make the strap. So the strap was 2 pieces of the X fabric, right? Just like with the apron last month, you sewed those 2 pieces together to make a really long piece of fabric. You folded the pieces in on each other, again, like you do a lot with Sewers Club. You did a 1 stitch to close the seams, right? And then you did a 2nd stitch to make the strap a bit more sturdy. Then they had you attach your swivel hooks to the bottom, right, to the ends of each, and your bag was complete. This is where I'm going to sign off from the voiceover from the future, and I will leave my past self to talk about the bag itself. But anyway, yeah, I guess you want to see what the project looks like, so all of that rambling makes sense. So So here we are. So I see that there's some cat hair on it. So with this, we have, I'm going to discuss the 4, we're going to just take this off for now. Okay, so with this, we have the 4, how I'm going to show you the 4 rectangles, right? And how you built this thing out of your 4 rectangles. So here's your first rectangle and your zipper, right? So all of this here, this flap and this rectangle were all created in first, right? I see that I missed cutting off some things. And then here's your zipper, right? You have it pointing up. It's not centered, but that's okay. And then if you look inside, right, here's your second rectangle here. This is your pocket lining, right? On both sides, it's the floral. So that's your first one. So here's your first pocket. And your first 2 rectangles. And here's your back side, right, with your 2 D-rings attached, right? So there's this. And then on the interior, right, you have your lining as well. So this would be square number 3. This is square number 4, rectangle number 4, and then this is actually rectangle number 5. So this rectangle here is independent. This rectangle here is independent of this rectangle here. I forgot about that. So yeah, it's not very bulky for having 5 layers of fabric, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 layers of fabric. Here's this pocket. This pocket's pretty deep, right? Because it runs all the way to the bottom of the bag, but the opening is too small to fit my wallet. So I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to be used for. So yeah, that's how that came out. These are all the curves, right? And how this curve matches these curves. Okay, that's not... yeah, so this curve matches these curves, right, which matches this curve on the back. This is curved up top here too, and it's not supposed to be. And I see that this part's pulling right here, this part of the zipper, so I'll have to fix that when I'm done. So yeah, and then here's your strap, right? It's a pretty standard way that they have you make your strap. I do like these clips though, so that you can use it to, like, you can use it as like a bag, like as a shoulder bag. I think the strap is too short to be a crossbody bag unless you have like a fairly short or small torso. But yeah, there you go. That's what the bag looks like. So let's go on to part 3. All right, so let's go on to part 3. Pros, cons, and user error. Pro, I'm learning more ways of making bags and things like that. I really like the look of this like retro kind of 70s or 80s fabric. I really like the feel of this linen as well. It feels really nice. And I really like the strap. Like, I like how we made the strap and how you use the 2 hooks, clamp hooks, whatever they're called, to do that. Cons, I think it's small. I think it's too small for any of my any-day uses. I'm not sure what I can carry in it. I guess my phone could fit into the main pocket and I could have like a little change purse in here. Or maybe my passport for traveling. here's my passport. This is how my passport travels, right? But I don't think it'll fit in this. Well, it might fit in this front pocket. Yeah, I guess it could fit in the front pocket. Be kind of hard to get out though, I think. Like if you have it hanging off of you, and then it would fit. It won't actually fit into this top pocket. I'll let you know if my phone fits in here. I didn't even bother trying it. Yeah, so my passport could fit in the front pocket, but not in the top pocket. Other than that, I'm not sure what I would use this for. Let me know in the comments what you think that I could use this for. Maybe my imagination just isn't working very well for me. And I can't think of anything. So, yeah, it always sucks when I don't really like the final project. But, as I always say with subscription boxes, you don't always, especially with this sewing one, because I'm learning a skill, it doesn't really matter to me if it's something that, if the end point is something that I would actually use or not. I can always give it the things away, or sometimes I hold on to them and then I find uses for them as I continue. So I'm never upset about it not being useful specifically for me, but for this one it is a con that I can't think of any time I would end up using it. Now, user error. I don't want to talk about user error because there's more in here than I would like to admit. I think that I started to get cocky when it came to Sewers Club projects. And with this one, I did rush through it a little bit. I watched the instructional video. It seemed really straightforward, and so I just went for it. And that was my biggest mistake. So let's count and see how many errors we have as I go through here. My first user error was thinking that this zipper, this top zipper, and this bottom zipper were done in exactly the same way, when they were not. This zipper is longer, and these zipper tabs are designed to be incorporated into the body of the bag, whereas these zipper tabs are supposed to kind of sit separate from the bag a little bit, and it's also shorter. I had to cut the zipper down, and I didn't even realize it. So this took more time than it needed to. I wonder if I should all right, and then number 2 for problems is that, our user error, is that I accidentally sewed this back piece, this back rectangle, onto here thinking that it was my front piece. So I had like too wide of a front piece on here, which kind of skewed everything kind of weird, right? Because it was sitting too wide. And I was confused by it. And it took me a good like half an hour to figure out what I had done wrong. But of course, it was only after I had already put the snap closure in. So if you can look right here, I've sewn them closed. But right here, you can see where I put the snap in. So that's going to be a mark that stays there for forever. I'm hoping that as it kind of gets worn in, I won't notice it as much, but it's there. Which also meant that the interior pocket, this piece here, oh yeah, that's my user error number 3. I wasn't thinking, and I punched a hole straight through one of my interior pocket rectangles as well, because they're all this floral. Here it is. Here you can see it right here. I closed I sewed this shut too, but I started to install the zipper snap like through all of my layers of my zipper snap. My magnetic snap through both layers of fabric before I was like, wait, no, that's wrong, right? And then, so I had to close this one up along with these two here. On the plus side, it's hidden in the interior, so you can't really see it. Number 4 with this one too is, like I mentioned, when I was finishing this bag, I had left this zipper closed, so I had to rip a hole on one of my side seams. On one of my side seams and get back into the bag to pull out the, to get into the bag to open the zipper so that I could flip the bag around so that I could actually use the bag. And then number 4 is not sewing these zipper tabs in very well. God, I have a lot of like loose thread. These zipper tabs in very well, so now I have to go in and hand stitch this corner back in, which is like the second time that's happened. So that's annoying. I have to be more careful when I'm attaching the zippers or the tabs. Maybe I should make them a little bit wider than they suggest, and then that might help fix that problem. So yeah, it's been a while since I've had so many user error, but there you go. All right, so now we're to part 4, the final thoughts and send off or whatever. Overall, I like this project. I would have liked it to be a little bit bigger, and I would have liked this flap to have covered this top zipper. I could see why it's not. But if I were to make this project again, like next year, if I decide to revisit this project, I would probably see if I could alter it so I can make this flap closure on the other side. That's my biggest complaint, because right now it's pretty and decorative, but I don't really see the purpose to it. If you do, let me know in the comments. And then I also want to touch on this rotary tool. Besides it looking like it's from 1995, and something that I got out of like a caboodle or from Saved by the Bell or something, it's a pretty good cutter. I don't like this like up and down mechanism. To me, I would rather have the disc come up and down, pull up and down, rather than this part. Like, it just seems like it's kind of like wasted space. I really do like the grip on the back, and like the shape of the handle is really nice. It really let me cut things really, really well. I just would prefer if it was the blade coming up and down rather than the guard for this particular one. Yeah, that's really my only complaint about it. I really like it. I'm gonna add it to my other 2 rotary cutters. Kind of use them interchangeably, I assume. I forgot to talk about the thread. I used the brown, I mentioned that. I have quite a bit left. I have no idea if I'll ever use it again. I don't know what kind of project I'd need the brown for. And then the bone is kind of a weird shade, but you never know. I have a project coming up that might work well for, but we'll see. Yeah, this video has gone on way too long, so I'm just gonna say it's not my favorite project. I didn't really enjoy putting it together, but that could have just been where my headspace was. And I do like kind of how they had me, this was my first pocket like zipper like this, which is kind of cool. So now I have a better understanding of how to do that. And yeah, allergies are hitting me really, really hard, and I'm filming this Monday night, and I need to still edit it and get it up to you for Wednesday. So, and it's a very long video with lots of pauses because I've just been sneezing through the whole thing. You won't hear any of it, but if you've heard it being a little disjointed, that's why. All right, I'm gonna go. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there is a giveaway going on. Check Monday's video if you want to see the rules. The rules are mentioned in the first like 3 minutes or so of that video. And then the rules are also in the description box of that video as well. And with that, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you've made it to the end of this very weird and ranty, or not ranty, but disjointed video. And I will talk with you again soon. Bye!